Peace, peace, peace. Shout out to everybody in the building. We about to get started. We're going to give everybody like maybe 2 more minutes and we're going to get started. Peace. Shout out to everybody in the building. Peace, peace. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, that's enough. We can get started now. Family, make sure you liking the video. Make sure you supporting the video any way you can. The stream. Shout out to everybody in the building. You already know PayPal, Cash App, super thanks, super chat, gifts, jewels, thumbs up, emojis, anything that support the channel. Shout out to Brandon in the building. Shout out to Madison in the building. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton in the building. Shout out to Fahima in the building. Thanks for the fire emojis. Madison, thanks for the fire emojis. Brandy, thanks for the fire emojis. I want to just start the show off like this. I think we should start the show off with this issue right here. The Carmelo. Hey, let me say this again. Yeah, we got to start the show off like this with Carmelo Anthony in the trial. This is day one.
Day one of the Carmelo Anthony murder trial brought an emotional day of testimony. The 19-year-old is charged with murdering Austin Metcalf during a track meet in Frisco last year. Anthony's attorneys are arguing self-defense, while prosecutors say this was an unprovoked murder. Our Aaron Jones with what unfolded in the courtroom.
Today, jurors heard from eyewitnesses, including coaches and an athletic trainer who were at the track meet when the stabbing occurred. They also watched surveillance video from that day. Carmelo Anthony pleaded not guilty before testimony began Thursday morning. In a packed courtroom, the families of both Anthony and Austin Metcalf sat on opposite sides of the gallery. During opening statements, prosecutor Bill Werski told the jury, this case has nothing to do with race. This case has nothing to do with self-defense. This was an unprovoked, unjustified murder. It is senseless. Anthony's attorneys argued the stabbing was an act of self-defense. Jurors then watched both original and enhanced surveillance video from the stadium. The video analysis expert testified the footage appears to show one person push or shove another, and then the other person push or shove back. However, he acknowledged the video does not appear to capture the actual stabbing. Jurors also heard from Memorial High School head track coach Rob Starr. Starr testified that the team tents are designed for specific schools and said it's a big deal to keep everybody separated. He also emphasized that weapons are never allowed at track meets, and students sign a code of conduct acknowledging those rules. Fighting back tears, Starr described rushing to Metcalf after the stabbing and the condition he found him in. Another witness, Heritage High School coach Vincent Hooper, testified he was asked to stay with Anthony after the incident. Hooper told jurors he warned Anthony that if Metcalf died, it would change the rest of his life. According to Hooper, Anthony initially said Metcalf would not die, but later began crying after Hooper again stressed the seriousness of the situation. Court wrapped up just after 6 p.m. tonight. Jurors are expected back in the courtroom tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. In McKinney, Aaron Jones, CBS News, Texas.
Okay, so we got the first day. That is the first day. So it's looking like it's not looking too good for Carmelo Anthony right now. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's not looking too good for him right now. Matter of fact, let's click on this other video right here because it's looking like everybody's testifying against him and saying that he's basically was in the wrong. Even though, again, a similar situation like this happened in Texas, the same Texas, where a white boy stabbed a Mexican and killed him and got off with self-defense. It's looking like, you know, that ain't gonna be the case for the brother, the young brother. Well, we already know that. Like these stand your ground laws, so I never liked them because they was always racist. It always depended on who did what to who. It was never neutral. Like race plays a role in it, socioeconomics play a role in it, gender plays a role in it. All these things play a role in it. Like I never liked this. Like this is why this is why self-defense does not need to be redefined. And this is why you don't take away the concept of proportionality out of self-defense. You don't do that. Because if you say there's no proportionality in self-defense, then why can't I stab somebody for just pushing me? Why can't I shoot somebody for just pushing me? And we have seen plenty of stand your ground cases with stuff like that. It has happened. And depending on the race of the perpetrator and the victim, we see it, some people get it, some people don't.
So our other big story, court was in session today in the murder trial of Carmelo Anthony. Anthony is accused of killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet last year. Prosecutors rested their case this afternoon, so the defense began calling witnesses. Cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, but Fox 4's Alex Boyer was there today and picks up the story from there.
You know, it's been a very long week for everyone involved in this case. The judge chose to hold another full day of testimony on a Saturday. I can tell you that a key witness burst into tears on the witness stand, and the prosecution rested.
I don't even know, too. Why are they holding court on a Saturday? Like why are they doing this? Like, this sounds like some railroading to me.
Its case just before 3 p.m., calling fewer witnesses than expected. Now it's the defense's turn to present its case. Another emotional day of testimony inside the Collin County courtroom, where 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony is on trial for the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
Eddie immediately starts crying. You know, the attorney goes up there and gives him Kleenex.
Court TV anchor Cody Thomas has been inside the courtroom watching the testimony. Thomas is talking about 18-year-old Eddie Parra. He was the Memorial High School student the defense maintains was the reason Anthony was at the Memorial High School tent that fateful day. The defense has referred to Parra as Anthony's friend, but when questioned by the prosecution, he didn't define their relationship that way.
We finally hear from Eddie, and Eddie all but says that we weren't really that good of friends. I just knew this kid because he was dating my, what he called his cousin, but a childhood friend. Eddie's testimony, coupled with everybody else's, doesn't seem like he had any reason being under the tent at all.
But on cross-examination, the defense showed the jury several photographs of Parra and Anthony hanging out and seemingly having fun. Parra maintained they only hung out when Anthony's then-girlfriend was around, calling her the common link between them. Defense attorney Toby Shook asked Parra to demonstrate on him how he remembered seeing Metcalf shove or push Anthony before the stabbing. But it was when Assistant District Attorney Bill Worski asked Parra to describe the deadly encounter between Metcalf and Anthony that he broke down.
Then when Eddie describes it, when he lifted up his shirt and saw the hole, like he said hole, not just a wound, a hole. So that kind of gives you an idea maybe how big this wound was, this stab wound.
The state's last witness was Dr. Elizabeth Ventura, the Collin County chief medical examiner who performed Metcalf's autopsy.
Fahima, I know that. I'm talking about why they doing it on a Saturday, like on the weekend. I never heard of court on the weekend. Maybe that's a Texas thing. But yeah, court on the weekend, like especially like a trial. Yeah.
Metcalf's parents and other family members stepped out of the courtroom prior to her testimony. Ventura showed the jury 4 photographs of the stab wound. She said the stab wound was 2 inches in length and noted it was, quote, gaping. Ventura added that the knife blade wound went through Metcalf's heart wall. She said the injury was not survivable and ruled the official cause of death, stab wound of the chest, manner of death, homicide, meaning it resulted from the intentional actions of another person.
But, you know, again, like I said, this is why I don't do the stand your ground rules. This is why they got to go. Because, again, we had a similar case just like this where a white person stabbed a Mexican kid, and I don't even think there was even a trial. I think he just said, oh, I stood my ground. He pushed me, and they just like, all right, stand your ground. You're free to go. Like, yeah, this is crazy. Oh, somebody wants some attention, and you block. Oh, salute. Shout out to AZ in the building.
State rested after calling 21 witnesses. Anthony's legal team maintains that the then 17-year-old acted in self-defense when he fatally stabbed Metcalf with a 3.5-inch folding knife. They have repeatedly pointed out that Metcalf was much taller and bulkier than Anthony. The jury now hearing their side of things. I talked to a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case.
What they're going to want to do is have witnesses that can establish exactly what was going on, what words were said, what actions were taking place. Defense is going to want to say that this was self-defense, and they're going to want to get those specific actions and words as well.
and the defense called 3 witnesses to the stand to testify before the judge called it quits for today. It's too soon to tell if Carmelo Anthony will testify on his own behalf. Keep in mind that the burden of proof is on the state. I can tell you that court resumes on Monday at 9 a.m. In Collin County, Alex Boyer, Fox 4 News.
And that's another thing that's stupid about these self-defense, these stand your ground rules and the redefinition of self-defense. When you say you did something in self-defense, the burden of proof is on you to prove that it was self-defense. Like, that's you putting it backwards. Like, it's like I shoot somebody and it's like now it's the state's job to prove that my life wasn't in danger. How do you prove that? It's my job to prove that my life was in danger. But again, this is because they have redefined these laws. And I would always say to black people that these laws are not meant for you. So if you can avoid, if it's not a clear-cut case of self-defense, if it's a little wobbly or whatever the case may be, use proportional force. Because if you try to use extra force, next thing you know, you're getting hit with a charge. And they like, oh, that's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. You're right, Terrell Brown. Only apply for white people. Like, this is crazy. But we're going to let it keep going.
So as you just heard Alex say, we will have gavel-to-gavel coverage of this court back in session Monday. Alex will be back in the courtroom. You can follow along on our website, fox4news.com.
Yeah, I want to see the second day. Like, there's some second day coverage. So yeah, let's see what the second day got to do going on the second day. The second day.
Welcome back. Frisco high school students who witnessed the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf backed up the state's case during testimony in the Carmelo Anthony murder trial today. Those students describe a tense scene inside the tent at a track meet, and they claim that Anthony's actions were not in self-defense. Our JD Miles joins us live now from the Collin County Courthouse.
Mind you, how can you say it's not in self-defense? If he hit him first and then he struck back, how could it not be self-defense? Again, in Texas, self-defense does not have to be proportional. See, people keep trying to redefine what's self-defense and what's not self-defense on the fly. I don't know why they chose to use that picture.
That's with the very latest on day 2 of testimony, JD.
Ken, this was the most painful day of the trial by far for the family of Austin Metcalf. That's what his father, Jeff Metcalf, told me. The parents watched police body cam videos that captured the lifeless body of their son receiving CPR, while in the background you could hear the haunting wails of his twin brother, Hunter, who was also at the scene. Now, prosecutors also presented for the first time, we got to see the 5-inch folding knife that they submitted as the murder weapon. And we've heard from current and former Memorial High School students who are presenting their accounts of what happened. The first of what's expected to be several track and field teammates of Austin Metcalf testified as witnesses during the Carmelo Anthony murder trial. Those who were under the tent at Kirkendall Stadium on April 2nd, 2025, described the scene before, during, and after the fatal stabbing. A 17-year-old testified, "I remember people confronting Carmelo and saying, 'You shouldn't be here. You probably should leave our tent.' I also said you should leave." Prosecutor, "Was it aggressive?" "I don't think so. I remember it getting more aggressive. I remember Carmelo refusing to leave and Austin saying, 'You need to leave,' and Carmelo saying, 'Touch me and find out.'" That student and others say the defendant was asked to leave as many as 15 times. Prosecutors asked him, "Did anyone try to gang up on him?" His answer, "No, sir." "How long did this go on?" "Roughly 2 minutes." "Was Carmelo angry?" "Yes, sir." "Was Austin angry?" "Yes, sir." Carmelo started refusing to leave. Prosecutors, "Who was provoking?" "Carmelo." Austin leans in to push him and Carmelo stabs him. Carmelo had his hands inside a backpack and we thought it was a bluff. He says he and others didn't believe Carmelo would do anything because they live in a, quote, safe community. Austin fell down the bleachers onto his back and he got up. He lifted up his shirt where his chest was all bloody and he said, "I think I got stabbed." Prosecutor, did he say anything? I think he said, "Oh my God." Another student, Jalen Matthews, backed up the state's case when prosecutors asked him.
So what I'm getting is that they thought that he wasn't going to do nothing because, like they said, it's a safe neighborhood. So they probably thought that they could gang up on him and push him around, and he wasn't going to do nothing. But but that's another thing. Brody should have just left. He should have just left. See, because I think that's the situation with a lot of these places that got stand your ground and stuff like that. Because there's no duty to retreat. So people feel emboldened to not leave and stand around, and even in some cases antagonize the situation, knowing that if somebody responds to their antagonization, they have carte blanche to use whatever force they deem necessary to defend themselves. A lot of people got killed like this in the South or in rural areas in small towns like this because they got laws like this in place. But again, they always change it up when the victim is white and the perpetrator is black. Always. Always.
Did it look like Austin was trying to pick a fight? His answer, no, sir. Did it look like Carmelo?
How would you not trying to pick a fight and you pushing people? You putting your hands on people. So if you push him, and let's say he didn't have a knife, and he pushed you back, and then you push him again, then he punched you. That's you picking a fight. It was like everybody was like looking for trouble.
Anthony was trying to pick a fight. Yes, sir. Did this look like self-defense to you? No, sir. Was Carmelo Anthony the aggressor? Witness, yes, sir. Now, there's been a lot of speculation for more than a year about what kind of role, if any, Austin's twin brother Hunter might have played in this confrontation. Both of those witnesses and others say Hunter was actually on the other side of the tent scrolling on his phone and did not become involved until after Austin was stabbed. Now, there are more students taking the stand right now in the courthouse behind me. We'll bring you their testimony later today. Live in McKinney, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Yeah. So, let me see something. There's 10 chains. Let's see this.
All right, happening today, the murder trial of Carmelo Anthony will resume this morning after prosecutors were seen clashing outside a Texas courthouse as opening arguments kicked off. Watch this.
You don't scare us, man. You don't scare us.
The suspect is accused of stabbing and killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
Wait, let's bring that back a little bit. Let's bring that back again.
Yes.
You don't scare us, man. You don't scare us.
The suspect is accused of stabbing.
See? Confederate flags out there and everything. I just wanted to bring that back. And that, isn't that Bozo who was holding up the White Lives Matter sign supposed to be in jail with Chud the Builder? I guess he got out. I guess his 10 days in jail is over. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's keep it going.
And killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a track meet last year.
Janley Painter here with the details. Jan.
Hey, Todd and Carly. So prosecutors will continue their case against 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony later this morning in Texas after, as you said, tensions boiled over outside the courthouse yesterday with dueling crowds on both sides making their voices heard, some focusing on the all-white jury selected in the case.
You look at Fox News. I should have never clicked on this. Matter of fact, I should have clicked on this because, again, no other site was going to show this, but Fox News is crazy.
Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old football star Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet in April of last year. Police say the confrontation started when Metcalf told Anthony he wasn't supposed to be in a team tent. Investigators say things quickly escalated, ending when Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. The jury heard the emotional 911 calls and saw enhanced video from the track meet. Anthony has pleaded not guilty to murder. His defense told the jury that Metcalf struck first and Anthony reacted in a split second of fear and chaos. Prosecutors told the jury in openings that the case has nothing to do with race or self-defense. They say Metcalf was unarmed, that Anthony provoked a fight with someone he didn't know, and then pulled out a knife and carried out what they described as a, quote, sneak attack. Metcalf's father previously spoke to Fox. Watch this.
This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever.
And Anthony faces between 5 and 99 years in prison if convicted. This trial is expected to last at least 2 weeks, guys.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing about Texas law. With this, if you get charged with certain felonies, you can face between 5 and 99 years. That's their way to give black people a gazillion years for something petty and give white people a smaller amount of time for something serious. That's that's what they do. Ridiculous. That's what they do. Like Texas, I don't even know why somebody would want to live in the last stronghold of the Confederacy. I mean, let me not even say that, because it's Texas got some nice things going on. But yeah, and there's racism all over the country. Shout out to everybody in the building.
All right, Jaylee Painter, thank you. Let's bring in nationally recognized plaintiff's attorney from the Hyman law firm, Kelly Hyman. Kelly, based upon what you learned in court yesterday, I know you've been following this, we all got a sense of how prosecutors are going to attack defendants' self-defense argument. Was it effective in your opinion?
Ultimately, that's going to be up to the jury of whether they think it's effective, but it was very powerful statements. So each side got opening statements, and those are not evidence, but they're a way to persuade the jury about their position. Judge gave them 20 minutes each. And from the prosecution standpoint, they have the burden. They have to prove every single element of the charges of the crime. And what they told was a very compelling story for their position, that this was a senseless act. Now, from the defense standpoint, they are going to come with self-defense, and they are going to make a very strong argument in this case.
What I find fascinating about this case is that prosecution obviously has to prove their case in chief, and they need to do it beyond a reasonable doubt, all the typical elements of a crime that you need to prove if you're the prosecution. But they also have another role, I would argue, equally as important, and it's keeping race out of this case, because that gets really complicated and it gets real sticky. The judge also has that obligation. How difficult will it be for both prosecutors and the judge to keep race out of this?
Well, when we look at the jury makeup, it's important to note that the jury, it's been reported that there are no African Americans on the jury. And so this was a bone of contention from the defense standpoint, because there were 3 African American women on the jury that was striked by the prosecution. Now, under our Constitution, we are allowed a jury of our peers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that someone who is African American is going to get an all African American jury. But what that means is, by your peers, that it's supposed to represent the community, that in fact the juries are what the community represents. Now, defense challenged that the 3 African Americans were taken off the jury, but the prosecution standpoint said it wasn't race-based. Now, if in fact the defendant is convicted, I could definitely see this race issue going up on appeal and potentially reverse any type of verdict.
You led me to my final question. Could you see this case? We reported that the trial is going to last about 2 weeks, but based upon how many issues are ripe for appeal, including starting issue 1, the jury, could you see this case dragging on and on and on for years in the appellate system?
That could potentially happen, but it's important to remember about this case. There are 12 jurors, and the way it is in Texas, that all 12 jurors have to agree, in fact, that he is guilty of the charge. So if one doesn't agree, then that could potentially be a mistrial. But in fact, if he's convicted, as Todd, you pointed out, this case could definitely go on appeal, and then it could go back again and potentially last for many years.
Kelly Hyman, thank you for your insight on this. Really appreciate it this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, this is getting crazy. But I found another story. This is not the one I was looking for, but this is another story that happened in Texas. Let's look at this one. Another stabbing incident. Let's look at this.
We are learning more about the Belton High School student who died after being stabbed at school, allegedly by another student.
Belton police identified him as 18-year-old Jose Luis Ramirez Jr., a senior at the school. He died at Baylor Scott & White Medical Center tonight from his injuries.
And 6 News anchor Bailey Bates has been following this devastating story today. She joins us live in studio now with more. Bailey?
Leslie, Chris, it was a very somber day in the Belton community. Feelings of uneasiness, confusion, and sorrow took over after the stabbing at Belton High this morning. But tonight, not every parent is getting to hold their loved one. A scary situation at Belton High School Tuesday when the school was put on lockdown for a reported stabbing.
I'm in shock because I have an older son that graduated from here in 2018, and it's always been a great school. I'm in shock.
Pamela Owen rushed to pick up her 2 kids from school after getting a text she never expected.
Got the text from my son saying they were barricaded in a room, but he's safe. So what does a mom do? We panic.
Belton ISD opened Tiger Field as a reunification center with hundreds of parents and guardians waiting in line to get their loved ones.
I've been in crazier situations at school.
Emotions were high as unanswered questions loomed.
They're all right. They're a little in shock. You know, I mean, we didn't expect something like this to happen. I mean, who does?
Belton police say an altercation between 2 seniors happened in the men's restroom just before 10 a.m. And then 18-year-old Kason Tyler Allison allegedly stabbed 18-year-old Jose Joe Ramirez. Ramirez died at the hospital Tuesday afternoon from the violent act.
He know how to make you crack a smile, know how to crack a joke, know how to make you laugh. Regardless of anything, he was always there for you. It's really who Joe was. He was always that person that even when you didn't see him, you knew he was there.
Tuesday evening, Martin Martinez and other friends and family gathered to remember.
Let me see. I just saw you. Purcell, skip them. I don't know why ads are popping up on people's thing now. Like somebody told me that yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, that they was getting ads. And it's like, when did that start happening? So yeah, this is a new thing. I don't know why that's happening, but yeah, skip them. Skip them. Shout out to everybody in the building. But as you can see, family, this is a different case where a white high school student stabbed a Mexican student. This is not the case I was thinking of, but this is a different case. And I'm showing y'all this because I want to show y'all how the case ended.
Remember their friend. Lots of tears shed as they didn't expect to have to say goodbye this soon.
Still in shock. I think everybody's still kind of processing it, doesn't really believe it.
The sea of red, Ramirez's favorite color, will keep moving forward, honoring his life and how there was never a dull moment, and their memories will never fade. A GoFundMe has been created to help Joe's family as they grieve a young life loss. You can find that link.
Yeah, so but let me show you this. You see?
Top story tonight, former Belton High student Kason Allison was sentenced today to the maximum 10 years in prison for the fatal stabbing of fellow student Joe Ramirez. This comes after.
And that's another thing, how they overcharge black students, black people all the time. This is a similar case where a white person stabbed a Mexican person, and he got like charged with like negligent homicide, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years. While Carmelo Anthony is being charged for like what, first-degree murder? Like ridiculous.
After a jury found Allison guilty of criminally negligent homicide and a judge added a deadly weapon enhancement to his potential sentence. 6 News reporter Sydney Walker was in the courtroom for today's sentencing and has the latest.
Nearly 3 years after Joe Ramirez died,
The man who stabbed him will spend a decade behind bars. Judge Wade Faulkner sentenced Allison to 10 years in confinement in the institutional division. This comes after 9 witnesses testified, including the mothers of both Ramirez and Allison, school employees who responded to the stabbing, and Allison's therapist. 3 Belton ISD staff members described lasting trauma from that day, sleepless nights, anxiety, and PTSD. One teacher said the incident forced her into medical retirement. Joe's family tearfully shared how his loss has changed their lives and say they haven't received true justice. The defense presented Allison's parents and counselor, who testified about his growth and remorse over 3 years of therapy, revealing that Allison is now a father. Defense attorney Boyd warned that prison would be a, quote, death sentence for his client and asked for just 2 years. But prosecutors successfully argued for the maximum, calling Ramirez's death, quote, entirely avoidable. When Faulkner announced the
Exactly. This dude stabbed this Mexican kid for no reason, stabbed him on purpose, killed him, and then now they charged him with negligence. Like, all right, you're stabbing people up, but this is negligence. And then they ask him for all these mercies, and they getting them 10 years.
10-year sentence, Ramirez's family erupted in applause and cheers. The judge quickly restored order while Allison's family sat in stunned silence. Following the sentencing, Ramirez's mother took the stand, looked Allison in the eye, and said, quote, "You get this measly 10-year sentence while I'm serving a life sentence without my son." The DA's office said, quote, "They hope today's verdict can allow Joe's family and our community to move forward." Allison was immediately taken into custody and booked into the Bell County Jail, where he began his sentence today. In Belton, Sydney Walker, 6 News.
Yeah, we could get off that. But like I said, this is the nonsense that we seeing. The nonsense. Yeah, let me play one more clip where he could say his side of the story. But yeah, this has happened a bunch of times in Texas.
Part of the highly anticipated trial for Kason Allison, who is charged with murder in the stabbing of Joe Ramirez at Belton High School back in May of 2022.
News 10's Isabella Quintanilla was in the courtroom all day today. She joins us now outside the Bell County Justice Center with more from the first day of the trial. Isabella.
Yes, that's right, Lauren and Gordon. The 156th District Court was packed today with families, friends, witnesses, and others, all who have been waiting nearly 3 years to learn the fate of now 21-year-old Kason Allison. We first heard from the state prosecutors who are charging Kason Allison with murder, saying he was intentionally cutting and stabbing Joe Ramirez, to which Allison pleaded not guilty. His defense attorneys then gave their opening statement, implying it was self-defense. Defense attorney Zachary Boyd told the jury, quote, "Kason was in the fight for his life, where he was jumped by 5 friends," end quote. We heard from 5 state witnesses today, including a 911 record custodian, the Belton ISD Director of Safety and Security, 2 teachers who saw the aftermath of the stabbing, and the school nurse. At the start of the trial, they played 5 911 calls from 2 staff members, 2 students, and a parent. In one of those calls, a girl identified Kason, claiming she saw him running through the parking lot with a bloody nose. They then played security footage from several cameras showing Joe and 3 others walking into a bathroom, Kason and another boy walking in shortly after. 5 boys, including Joe, then ran out of the bathroom and split up, with Kason once again running out shortly after. We also saw footage of Joe running down the main hallway, bleeding onto the floor and then collapsing. Blood immediately began to pool as teachers and staff quickly surrounded him. Many of Joe's family and friends were in tears as they watched this all play out. One witness, the first to get to Joe, said, quote, "His breathing was rapid and shallow. It appeared to me as if he had a punctured lung." Another witness, the school nurse, said they gasped when they cut open Joe's shirt, finding a gaping wound across his left chest. She also shared that a student that had been in the bathroom was brought to the nurse's office and was on the phone with his mom saying, quote, "Kason stabbed Joe." Now, at this time, we are still hearing from state witnesses, and the trial will resume tomorrow at 9 a.m., but we will, of course, be keeping you updated throughout.
That's enough, but I just wanted to illustrate that. Also, Rob, Carmelo has been charged. I'm not showing that because I think he's going to get charged. He has been charged. He has been charged. Like I don't think he's gonna get charged. He has been charged. You said the pink hat lady is a fiend. I don't even I don't Dag, I think I know what you was talking about. But anyway, yeah, this is like we're gonna keep following this. This is a crazy situation. So you saying the ads is coming frequently too? Is this something new or this been going on? Let me know. Like, please let me know. Like, is this new or this been going on? I need to know that, family. Shout out to everybody in the building. Okay, we could go to this subject right here. This is the bozo Black Alpha Network. Like, he's supposed to be the new FBA crash dummy who goes around and just randomly goes up to people, Democratic candidates, and starts screeching about reparations. I don't know. Let's see what he got to say.
Yeah, Alpha. There they go. Shout out to the fam. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's been busy, for Alpha just yesterday. I pulled up on this little fish fry. Anybody right here, I ain't even spoke about it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So y'all the first ones who going to get to hear what ended up happening at this regulator tour. I told everybody we was going to pull out the regulators. I told everybody we was going to pull on through. You did. And that's exactly what happened. So I missed my live yesterday because I had to go on down to Columbia, South Carolina to go see what it's hitting for with the Democratic shields, you dig? And a couple of the certified.
Already stupid. How can people running to be elected officials of the Democratic Party be Democratic shills? Like, this is cooking my brain. See, this is like for all y'all who was in the building, y'all saw yesterday. This is why I say it. I talk against debates. How can you debate this level of stupidity? How? Like, how can you debate this level of stupidity? Like, it don't make sense. Okay, we got Madison saying she ain't getting no ads. Yeah. Other people saying it just started 3 weeks ago, but it's getting worse. Okay. Started a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know what YouTube is doing because I haven't changed anything I'm doing on my end. So YouTube is just probably just doing this to y'all. I'm not telling YouTube to do this. I'm not doing this. I don't have no button to click like, all right, put an ad. I got no button to do that. And you said it just started too. So yeah. So YouTube is deciding to do this. I don't know why they're doing that. Oh, you said this is something that YouTube just added? All right. So yeah, y'all gonna just have to hit the skip button. Because again, I'm not doing this. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all supporting the stream any way y'all can. But yeah, let's get back to this bozo.
Pulled up. I want to send a shout out to them. Shout out to the certifieds that was there. We told everybody we was going to do it and we did it. And we came through that thing straight up solid. And we seen all the Democratic shields. There was a lot of them. They was out there having Wonder Bread and fish fry and they was dancing for nothing. And I just so happened to see Clyburn and Clyburn seen your boy and then Clyburn split. He got the hell up out of there. He came, he stuttered through his words. You know what I'm saying? He said about 4 or 5 things of babble. The certifieds was there and he split. And they seen me as soon as I pulled up. I had somebody approach me personally. You know what I'm saying? It was like, Black Alpha, hell yeah. You know who it is? #1 activist, checkmate. You understand?
All right, #1 crash dummy. Like, you literally going around just saying a bunch of babble. Everything you say does not make sense. You're incoherent. You're stupid. It's like, this is what people think is activism. Like, look at this white guy face right here, man. Look at his face. Look at the 2 white guys' face. He like, this nigga stupid. And this other guy say, damn, I do not envy you because you got to talk to niggas that's stupid like this. And you just can't tell them they stupid. It's like, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Like, do they not know that reparations is a dead issue? Do they not know just coming up to somebody saying reparations? You don't, if somebody was to ask Black Alpha, well, how much is reparations supposed to be? or what is reparations? He couldn't give you a straight answer. But he's running down on politicians about reparations. Embarrassing.
So he seen me, and then next thing you know, a couple of the brothers and sisters that was there, shout out to the family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get their names. I don't know if they want their names out there, but we had some certified brothers and sisters. We was well represented. Okay. We had the 60-year-olds, we had the 30-year-olds, we had the 40-year-olds. We was in there doing our damn thing. So we said, let's go ahead and walk through the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And we walked through the crowd, and guess who I ended up bumping into? I ended up bumping into the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear. And guess what? Andy Beshear said that he gonna probably end up running with Kamala Harris in 2028. And I'm like, well, goddamn, I just checked Kamala Harris a month ago. It's only right that I check him right here today. So it looked like Black Alpha, the #1 activist on the MF and Earth. I pretty much checked the Democrats' campaign ticket for 2028 in the general election. I checked them both in.
How do you know that Kamala Harris is going to win the primary? How do you know that this man is going to be her vice president? If she does, she's going to pick this man to be her vice president if she does win the Democratic nominee for president. Like, you're just saying stuff. Like this is like literally torture. This is why I started like covering like news stories and stuff to break this up. I can't keep talking about FBA. This is hurting my brain now. This is why I could barely speak sometimes, because it's like you're listening to this drivel all day long. This is nothing but babble. Who can take this serious? Who can take this serious?
1 month, and I did it in 2026. I must be the greatest. You did. So I ended up seeing him, and I pressed him on reparations, and I said, hey, what's good? Do you support reparations for foundational Black Americans? And everybody's around us, fam. I'm talking about.
And now if he would have asked you, what is reparations for foundational Black Americans? First of all, what is foundational Black Americans? And two, what is reparations? What does that look like to you? What does it look like to you? You wouldn't have had no answer. That's all somebody got to do is to flip it on you bozos, to ask you, what is reparations? Y'all, what y'all gonna say? Oh, reparations could be many things, but it's definitely a check, because that's what y'all started saying after people started flipping that on y'all. #1 activist, #1 crash out.
Everybody's around us. You got people taking pictures. They got the camera. He had the whole Secret Service. I checked him in front of the Secret Service, fam. That's how I do things, y'all. So I asked myself,
why would he have Secret Service protection? You just saying stuff. Like, you know how stupid. Like, first of all, I do believe Black Alpha is that stupid that he thinks what he's saying makes sense, but his audience is even stupider. Because if you following somebody this stupid, because you know Tariq say a lot of stupid shit, but he know a lot of that shit he be saying is stupid. Black Alpha is genuinely stupid. He thinks everything he says is true. He's just dumb. And you got a bunch of bozos following behind him, which means they are extra dumb. This is embarrassing. This is adult. Like, I sometimes I'll be thinking, like I was just thinking today, like, what was it all for? Why didn't all the enslaved Africans just kill themselves? What was it all for to go through slavery? What was it all for Black people to go through a century of Jim Crow? What was all that fighting, struggling, crying, begging, scratching, climbing, persevering, marching? What was it all for? If it just created motherfuckers like Black Alpha, who just said, you know what? That was meaningless. It didn't really matter. Segregation was better. And just say, let's just throw away all that progress. What was it for? What was the sacrifices for?
Said, do you represent or do you stand for reparations for foundational Black Americans? And his first answer was all Americans. So family, he sealed his fate. Once I heard all Americans, I said, oh no, hell no. It's on and popping now. See, here's the thing. I'm going to give you just enough to where you can go ahead and stake your claim. But if I ask you about Black Americans and your first answer is all Americans, then you're going to get all of this Black American smoke. So
say foundational Black Americans. You do not represent Black Americans. Like, let's be clear. You're a bozo and a dweeb.
I said, no, I'm not talking about all Americans. I'm talking about specifically for foundational Black Americans. Then he says, well, I want to talk about where the money goes. I said, we ain't talking about where the money goes. Do you support it? Then he said, well, let's talk about the household. See, he was trying to hit me with some Black fathers not in the home stuff. I know all their tricks. I know all their games. I know all the flip-flopping.
Didn't Tariq say something like that? Didn't Tariq say something about reparations needing to be done by households and single mothers shouldn't get none? So how because you just said that that's what he meant, even though I know that's not what he meant. But let's say that was what he meant. Maybe he learned from Tariq Nasheed. Maybe he learned from Tariq Nasheed.
I know everything. That's the thing about me, fam. I ain't waiting around. I know exactly what the game look like. I know the conning, and we ain't playing none of that. Soon as your first answer to a very specific, direct question about Black folks is all folks, then you gonna have to get it. So then I said, no. Y'all got HR 40. HR 40 done been around for years, and it ain't done nothing. I said specific.
Mind you, the bill that the Japanese people used to get reparations, they were introducing that bill for like 40 years straight. No, like 30 years, 30 or 40 years, something like that, before it finally got signed into law. That's how stupid these people are. They don't know nothing about reparations. They constantly referencing other people, but they don't know anything about it.
Again, for Black Americans, without the tap dancing and the running and the flipping and the damn flopping around, he starts saying, well, in Kentucky. I said, I ain't talking about Kentucky. Nationally. See, fam, why I got to keep a grown-ass man on track? That's a very simple-ass question. This is a grown-ass man, a governor, who wants to be the president in 2028. And I got to keep him on track. Like
you just said I thought you said he was going to be Kamala Harris's vice president. Now you saying he wants to be the president. This is disgusting. This is like beyond stupid. A grown man is saying this. Like a grown man. Shout out to everybody in the building.
Like a goddamn kindergartner. These folks ain't about that. They ain't about that work. And the problem is that they're used to going to places and not seeing those certifieds. And I told everybody I was going to pull up. I told it. I broadcasted live for the whole fam. I let it.
Certified bozos. Like, so you ain't used to seeing those. You're right. He's not used to seeing some certified bozos do stuff like this.
And I sent out all the emails to the brothers and sisters. This is where I'll be. If you want to see me there, let's go. And when I seen him, he started to break. He's like, no, Kentucky and the household and economics, everything other than the damn question. And he was bouncing all over the place, and I wouldn't let him. I stuck to the script. And that's how you play these folks when you see these folks, family. Okay? Don't let them take you down the block. Don't let them take you around the corner, up the street. I don't give a damn. I don't want to hear about Uber. I don't want to hear about fish fry. I don't want to hear about hush puppies and chicken nuggets. Your ass better answer it directly. I said Black 500 times. He ain't say Black once. I said reparations 500 times. He ain't say reparations once. So then I said, I want the same exact thing that y'all out here giving immigrants. What about that?
That's not reparations. That's like saying, because reparations is supposed to be trillions of dollars. The immigrants are not getting trillions of dollars. They're not even getting billions of dollars. Look at the stupidity. But family, let me play when Tariq said this. I think I found the clip. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see. Let me make sure the audio is good on this. Okay. I think I found the clip.
All right, so let's get into some game. He said, what do I think about slavery reparations? Yeah, there should be reparations, but there's a way that we need to do it because Black folks as a whole mentally will fuck up any kind of money that's given directly. There has to be some type of structure to it. If you start giving niggas, let's say every Black person in America will get $10,000 next month in January, that niggas will be broke again on January 15th. It has to be organized. You cannot give niggas money right now. They'll fuck it right back up. They'll give it right back to everybody else. Going by June, shit. It'll be gone in 15 days. Just like lottery, exactly. Just like lottery winners. Most lottery winners, they go broke in 5 years. Just like that Dave Chappelle comedy skit. That's what messed that money up. What they need to do as far as reparations, they should have, it should be a designated plot of land or somewhere in middle America, somewhere where there's good fertile land that should be given, that should be tax-free, that should be regulated to male-headed households. That's my suggestion. They should get a plot of land somewhere where there's very fertile ground, fertile land, and it cannot be settled unless it's a male, a black male who's the head of the household. We can't have no single mothers on that motherfucker. See, if we implement something like that, it would have to be, it would almost get into like almost sexism, but it's not, man. We can't have that single mother shit. We got too many broken homes, and a lot of these single mothers are not held accountable. It's just too much bullshit going on in the hood, and it's a direct result of all these single mothers.
You see what I mean? To all the FBA black women, y'all should feel a certain kind of way about that.
Yeah, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. So yeah. So how do we know the governor of Kentucky wasn't listening to Tariq Nasheed? How do we know that? Yep, Rob. That's why they be trying to pretend they Native Americans, because they want to be on reservations. They like it's the same script but just different names. They always wanted to be on reservations, tax-free, thinking they could get casinos and just have their own rulership. Nobody can tell them what to do. And they want to be dominant, and they want to dominate everybody. It's the same play. Like, come on. Exactly, Fahima. He's just talking. He's just talking. Like, that's why I couldn't be no politician. Because I would explode on him. Matter of fact, I could be a politician, because that's the type of politicians we need now. Because we in the Trump era. We need people to explode on people like this and tell them they stupid and sit down and go read a book. Ridiculous. Oh, you out? All right. Good night, good evening, or good afternoon, or whatever you got going on. Stay safe and stay safe. Yeah, let's get back to this.
He said, well, I'm trying to give you an example. I said, I know a lot of examples. Soon as I said I know a lot of examples, his face turned red. That mayo turned red, y'all. It was red mayo, red Miracle Whip. And he said, oh, okay, bye. And then I said, oh, so you don't support it? See, if I won't go say, no, tell me, do you? Can you explain? Let me know if he does. Can you? I already got the answer. See, fam, people give you the answer by not answering your question. So, he didn't answer my question, so I already knew what he was going for. So therefore, I said, okay, so you don't send no money to black folks. You don't stack no money for black folks. You ain't got no money for black folks. You ain't rocking with us. And do y'all know he sent it was this little Kevin Hart looking COON. And if you look, I posted it, y'all, everybody right now. Go to my TikTok right now. I ain't even dropped it, fam. It's only been on TikTok. Go over to TikTok right now and you're going to see it, fam. We're right here on my page. Go and check it out. Okay. He sent in this little dude and the little guy runs in there and the little guy's like, no, we'll keep in touch. He had a little COON, little handler. You know what I'm
saying? Like, oh my goodness. I don't know who that black dude is, but why would you want to keep in touch with somebody like Black Alpha? See, this is another problem. Y'all got all these staffers with smartphones. Nobody can Google these goofballs to figure out who they are and figure out whether they're even worth the time to even talk to or not. See, y'all politicians got to get some better staff around y'all. Y'all got to get some better staff around y'all. Like, come on. They supposed to know who this is. They supposed to know that he's not to be taken serious.
saying? A little dude, man. He looked like an Oompa Loompa. You know what I'm saying? He was in there, and then he comes around, he tries to run in the fence. Y'all seen the photo where the W dude is getting served up, and out of nowhere, you see that black woman was protecting him? This is what he did. And go look at everybody's faces in the background. They were scared. Black Alpha had them shook. Y'all thought Kamala was scared. Y'all thought I had her shook. Everybody was scared. Just look at everybody. You got the people in the back, the camera, the Secret Service was there. Yeah, I checked them in front of the Secret Service. Did that. You damn right I did. Now do it again. That's how we get down over here, baby. We don't play no games. You understand? He was so damn shook, and all the little dudes run up, and he says, "Here's my card. We'll keep in touch." I said, "What's your name?" He said, my name's on the card. I said, I ain't asked you about the card. I said, what's your name? I'm a man. When a man asks you what your name is, you look at me in the damn eye and you tell me your name. And he goes, it's whatever the hell it is. Okay, Oompa Loompa, CLW, or whatever the hell. Okay, I said, what's your name? And then he said his name or whatever. And then I pointed to the camera. I said, listen, this is what I'm talking about. These folks don't represent us. They not standing on no business for us. They ain't trying to cut no damn check for us. And we gonna sit here.
So you just said that he gave you his card. You said you want to know the name. You don't care about the card. You a man. Y'all should know names. He gave you his name, and then now you talking about whatever his name is. See, that's exactly why he shouldn't have engaged with you. He shouldn't have engaged with you.
We're gonna press these people consistent.
You probably couldn't even read the card. That's why you were saying that. Well, yeah, let's keep it going.
Family, consistently. And I said, they got Clyburn the hell up out of there. Oh, yeah, we went through that crowd, fam. There was about 500 COONs, and there was 5 certified. Shout out to my 2 sisters that were there. Shout out to my brother that was there. And we combed straight through that crowd. Matter of fact, Capital Black. I'm going to go ahead and put your name on it, fam. Shout out to my brother, real certified brother. Shout out to my brother, man. He was in there holding it down. Straight up. Shout out to my brother. We went right through there, fam, and there was about 5 of us, and we walked right on through the crowd, family, and then we found who we needed to find, and he just came, and it parted like the Red Sea, family, and he walked right up to me, and we got straight to business, man, and that's what we're doing. I told y'all, man, for real. These TikTokers out here, they play. You dig? I'm a legend. You know what I'm saying? They sit here on TikTok all damn day long and listen to what Tether's got to say and have 24-hour.
So, are you dissing your fellow FBAs? It sounds like you dissing your fellow FBAs. I'm going to bring that back. I sound like you dissing Tariq. I'm going to bring that back.
We walked right on through the crowd, family, and then we found who we needed to find, and he just came, and it parted like the Red Sea, family, and he walked right up to me, and we got straight to business, man, and that's what we're doing. I told y'all, man, for real. These TikTokers out here, they play. You dig? I'm a legend. You know what I'm saying? They sit here on TikTok all damn day long and listen to what Tether's got to say and have 24-hour lives about why Tethers don't like black folks. Black Alpha don't do that. Black Alpha gets straight to the big dogs, to the big wigs, and we go straight to work. You know what I'm saying? All the folks out there listening right now, take notes. This is how it's done. This is how it's done if you really want to be number one, okay? But there ain't no room for anybody out here playing around. I said I was going to go out there and do it. I checked this dude. And word on the block is that him and Kamala Harris are already planning the ticket for 2028. And I'm checking them in 2026. And I'm putting reparations on the main stage. And then guess what, y'all? To make that even more crazy, afterwards, after I checked this dude, I said, you know what? I'm a Leo, so I'm a little out there, fam. I'm kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, I think he was dissing Tariq. Yeah, I know Fahima, it's the same goofball. Yeah, I think he was dissing Tariq. I'm calling it. Black Alpha was dissing Tariq. Because who else you talking about? Talking about I'm not like these other people who sit on TikTok all day talking to tethers. I'm out here in the field doing real work. Who does that? But Tariq. So Black Alpha's throwing shots at Tariq. He ain't getting a damn thing done. He just trying to run up some views. That's it. He just trying to run up some views and some donations. But again, he is truly stupid, though. It's not just about donations with him. He's just stupid. He actually believes he's like making a difference.
Hey, my mama no crazy. Mama raised a hell raiser. I said, let's go get on stage. I was like, hell, let's go get on stage. And they still out there tap dancing and stuff. That they were still having a.
Why would he get on stage with you? You are a degenerate. You are stupid. He shouldn't even have wasted no time talking to you. Get on the stage for what? This is the problem right here. This is another reason why I'm doing the BYB. The Democrats don't got it, bro. They don't got it. I mean, a lot of these established Democrats, God bless them, they don't got it. Or at least they don't got good staff around them. They don't. This is not the way to handle people like Black Alpha. Like he just said, he came in with like 5 people. You had an event with like what, 200 people there, and you wasting time with this bozo? That ain't it.
A little hold down at the plantation. I said, let's just go get on stage, y'all. How about that? Let's go hop on the stage. So me and the brothers and sisters, we went and we jumped on the stage. Yep. Everybody looking at us like, these N-I-double-G, they on the stage. You goddamn right we're on the stage. Hell yeah. So we jumped on the stage. I got all the pictures. I'm flicking off the crowd. I'm flicking off Clyburn's little thing. Clyburn didn't think that he was going to have a fish fry and talk all that nonsense for nothing. And then some certifieds were going to be right there in the same spot right after he got done talking. And we was out there letting the presence be known and presence be felt, family. That's what happens when you rock with Black Alpha. It's always going to be a good time. I'm telling you, better come to them regulator tours, man. I'm telling you right now, you better come to these regulator tours, man. You dig? Anytime Black Alpha show up, man, it's going to be some mega star, rock star-ish. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm bringing fire to the movement, flavor to the movement. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have fun while we're doing this, man. We ain't just going to be black and excellent and be boring. That don't make no sense to me. That ain't in our DNA. We're going to be black, excellent, and we're going to have a great damn time. Trust me, family, a great damn time. And I ain't have one piece of fish. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact,
Rob, there was no Secret Service there. I mean, it was no Secret Service there, especially no Secret Service to protect the governor of Kentucky. He's just saying stuff. He's just saying stuff. That's it. He's just saying stuff. That's it. He sounds beyond ridiculous. Like this is painful. This is painful that this is a grown black man doing this. Yeah, long as you know. Yeah, certified bozos, certified fools, certified bozos, certified uneducated, certified lame.
Hey, shout out to our sister. Our sister said that was Wonder Bread and fish. Okay, that was the nastiest stuff ever, fam. Okay, that's what it was. And we hopped on the stage, fam, and we was, flicking off the camera. We was taking photos, flicking off his sign and all that, just to let him know, man, that's exactly what it is. I told y'all, you got two hands, two middle fingers, put them both up and let everybody know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody know where it is. Let everybody know what went down. Let everybody know how it go down. That's how we do over here, fam. So we jumped on the stage. We took a bunch of pictures. And guess what? Crazy thing is, I had on my reparations generation shirt. Some random brother walk up to me. I don't know who he was.
So you bozos got on the stage at a political event, a family event, and just stuck your middle fingers up at everybody. And you say you the number one activist? That's activism? That's activism.
He said, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Reparations, man. That's what I'm talking about, brother. So the people was on my side. And a lot of them folks in the crowd, they was looking at us thinking, damn, they making the point. Shout out to my brother Marcel, because Marcel told me about 2 years ago, he said, you'd be surprised when you go to these places how a lot of people really love what you be saying. And they really be agreeing with it. They just ain't never heard it articulated to them from a certified. They did that day. So family, I drove 3 hours to go to the fish fry. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Clyburn, he split, got the hell up out of there. Seeing perhaps one of the guys who's going to be running for president in 2028, and Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, checked him on camera. He ran. They sent in a little Kevin Hart, COON, checked him. He ran, hopped on stage, flicked off everybody. And then, we sat down, and at the end, we had a deep conversation. Me and the certified family. I told y'all, man, to y'all, these other folks, man, y'all just subscribers to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just click and watch videos to these folks, fam. For us as a family, you know what I'm saying? Certified 100. You know what I mean? The regulators, fam. It's a real family over here with us. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate every last one of y'all. Y'all know I say it on every broadcast.
So he dissing Tariq again. I'm happy I didn't cut this off. He dissed Tariq. So he dissed Tariq twice. Okay, cool.
Subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. If you not, you crazy. The hottest ticket in town. Y'all look at the numbers, man. Don't nobody do numbers like we do over there, man. Don't nobody have a family. All the emotions. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to ride. We're going to shine. We're going to grind. We do it all. You know what I'm saying? And then we sat down and we all had a conversation. And our good sister, I won't say elderly because she's not elderly at all. You know what I'm saying? She gave us a deep speech about not quitting. You know what I'm saying? She's listening right now. So if you're listening, I love you. And she told us, to keep on continuing, to keep on going, to keep on doing our thing and keep on holding it down, and how her generation is the gap generation that's between the baby boomers and Gen Xers, and just how important it was. And she came there, and shout out to your husband if you're listening, by the way, shout out to him. And, we talked and we chopped it up. Shout out to my brother. And then, we waited for the ladies to get right. So we didn't leave them. We waited till the ladies got in their cars and everything. graduated and went home. I texted everybody to make sure that they made it good today, but it was a family affair, and I did what I said I was going to do because that's how Black Alpha get down. You know what I'm saying? Real life talk, and I'm going to continue to do it. A brother wrote me about a month ago. He said Black Alpha's on the generational run. I said, damn right. Y'all know what it is. Elephant in the room, fam. Anybody touching me? Anybody doing what I'm doing in terms of activism and holding it down and really representing and being a true to you about it? But unless everybody,
that's enough. That's enough. We're not gonna let Black Alpha babble no more. That's enough. Shout out to Visionary in the building. Yeah. Like, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, Negro beta is delusional. Like, delusional is real. Well, Leah, let's get off this bozo and let's touch on another subject. I was supposed to have been had got to, but I never got it. Other stuff kept coming up. So let's get into it now. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. My audio good is good. So yeah, shout out to everybody in the building. This is Lady Boule. She's crying about Black immigrant actors or something like that. So let's see what she got to say about this. So let's go.
For subscribing to the channel, thank you not. And I have one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I have entitled this video, he has just as much right to do his job as you have to do yours. So the comedian and live streamer, Drewski, does a skit about Black Brits taking Black American roles. Idris Elba responds, and suddenly Black Americans are ignorant for having an opinion about our own stories.
I did not know Idris Elba responded to this skit. I do not believe you, but maybe you might show some receipts. I don't know. Yeah, she insane. I don't remember Idris Elba responding to anything. But yeah, let's keep it going. Maybe I'm wrong.
Listen to this.
Drewski's new skit is going to have the Black community in a chokehold.
There are people online talking about English actors shouldn't be playing Americans. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. They sound so unintelligent and shouldn't do that. It's like, come on, man, we're all Black. I'm hugely disappointed.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm hugely disappointed that there are some people that feel that they need to vote.
Matter of fact, isn't this like an old clip of him talking? This is not new. But yeah, I'm gonna let him keep going.
Voice that. I mean, you know, in a world where we are
Africans are always talking about we're divided. We're so divided. Who was it that came over here saying they weren't Black? Who was it that came over here saying they weren't like us? I mean, they really wanted white people to know that they weren't.
Miss Boule, Lady Boule, you said out your own mouth you don't even know any Black immigrants. So how do you know that they came over here saying that they wasn't Black? How do you know that they came over here saying they wasn't like us? And the funny part about this, the first people to actually even call themselves Black in America, like no switch up, just like Black when a time when it wasn't popular, and a time when calling yourself Black was like calling yourself Negro today, was the Black immigrants, by the way. Remember, the reason why we even call ourselves Black is because of a Black immigrant. Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael. He was the one who got Black people to start calling themselves Black. He was the one who started the Black Power era. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Exactly. All they do is sit around and parrot Tariq, and Tariq just be making stuff up. Shout out to Diasporian in the building. I believe it. They all did. Like so many channels I be clicking on, I be getting recommended to me. It's channels that be having FBA stuff, and they be like, I know your channel didn't have nothing to do with FBA before. I go look at your channel history. You getting views. Then your things start to waver a little bit. Then you try to grift to the FBA stuff to try to get your views back. But again, like I said, there is a grifter to true believer pipeline. It's only but so long you can play grifter before you actually start believing this stuff. I have no idea.
Like us. Who was it that came over here calling us names? But we're divided, and it's our fault. It's Black Americans.
So now was the the black immigrants who came over here calling people names. When you just was saying the other day that people was calling them names, but it was just jokes because they was teasing, because that's what kids do. So how do you know that they didn't come over here calling people names, teasing? Because that's what kids do.
It's fault that we're divided according to them, and we're unintelligent to point out how they have behaved.
Shout out to Naps in the building. Yeah, go subscribe to Naps channel. Yes, this is AI. Her pictures are AI. It's AI. These are not real.
When they have come to this country, they think that we don't know. I guess they really do think that we're unintelligent, or sometimes they say ignorant, and sometimes they say stupid. They really think they're smart, but they're not smart enough to.
Yes, I know, Fahima. He's not talking about that skit. That's why I said, like, when I saw that video, I'm like, isn't this like an old video of Idris Elba talking before the skit even came out? He's talking about a certain sentiment. Like that. That's what I'm talking. Yeah. Yeah, this is disgusting.
Figure out how they can stay in their homelands and make a living acting their icons. They have to come to America and act our icons. It's not unintelligent for.
So black people wasn't acting Africans, and black people like 100 years ago didn't go to the UK to do stage plays. That didn't happen. And yeah, shout out to Diasporian. Mentioning Sinners. And everybody, if you haven't watched Sinners, go watch Sinners. Go watch Sinners. Also, Preacher Boy. He's like, his mother is like, I think Dominican or Panamanian or something like that. Exactly. Forrest Whitaker played what? Idi Amin. Like 6 different people play Nelson Mandela. Like, what is she talking about? Cherry picking as always. Because they are a hate cult. And that's what haters do. That's what they do. Correct. FBA bozos.
Us to point out that we do not want foreign blacks playing our iconic roles. That is not unintelligent.
Divided. We are divided. How do you find further division? Someone that's being paid to be an actor, to pretend to be a character that doesn't actually exist, comes from someone's imagination. You're going to dog on them because they're not actually from the place to be.
So he's showing his own unintelligence. Harriet Tubman was an actual person. Dr. Martin.
Again, he's talking about something else. And even if those were actual people, again, we just named a bunch of Africans, like even Don Cheetah was in Hotel Rwanda. That was Don Cheetah, right? Like they're like, you keep, like, this goes both ways. I remember when Yvette Carnell tried to address that point. She said, well, those movies were being made by American companies, so it's different. And it's like, well, these movies aren't being made by British companies. A lot of the production companies and a lot of the directors and the casting people for these movies are from the UK. So by your logic, you shouldn't have nothing to say about this. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Luther King was an actual person. Fred Hampton was an actual person. The person that played 12 Years a Slave, that slave woman was an actual person. So he's not really being honest. Any roles that come up in the United States cinema should go to American actors first. American actors should be considered first, not British actors. And I don't buy all of this about they're better trained. They work cheaper and they aren't of the.
Fahima, I think it was like 6. You're right. Prince of Zamunda. Cool Running. Forgot about Cool Running. Yep, Coming to America. Black Panther, Wakanda. This is nonsense. Exactly. Exactly. Like, this is ridiculous. Exactly. Also, like, that's why I said these is just a bunch of bozos just crying online thinking that they can spew their hate and get everybody else to co-sign it. Everybody's not co-signing this, bro. Y'all gotta come to terms with that. We don't do hate. We don't do hate. And nobody should even be addressing this issue. Like, no famous person should even address that issue anymore. They should just be keep acting, keep getting money. That's it. Let me see. Yes, we want the best actors. That's it. And a lot of them are better trained. Because remember, who is Denzel Washington little homie? Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Where did Denzel Washington send Chadwick Boseman to get trained at? In the UK. He didn't keep him in America. He sent him to the UK to get trained. That's why when I first saw him in movies, I thought he was like African, and I thought he was from the UK. These are facts.
The lineage, so they don't bring to the role what Black Americans do.
Most actors are not from where they are. Their characters are playing. You know what it is? It's xenophobia.
At this point, I'm almost like the South Africans. They can call it xenophobia. They can call it anything they want to, but we have a right to gatekeep our culture. We have had to.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, AZ. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. I was just having for some reason, I was having a hard time saying Chadwick. For some reason, I was like,
sacrifice and work to build the culture that we have. And it's not fair that other people should come in and profit from it and talk down to us about, well, you're being xenophobic. We're not being xenophobic. We don't care about you coming here and writing scripts about your own people and making movies about your own people. We don't care. Black Americans are not going to African countries like Nigeria and Ghana and Ethiopia and any other country that has a movie culture and taking roles from them. Nigeria has a movie industry called Nollywood, and they are the second largest movie production in the world, according to their info. But you don't see Black Americans going over there taking Nigerian roles, trying to play Nigerian characters. Why? Because they probably wouldn't hire them.
well, Lady Boule, it sounds like y'all FBA bozos need to make your own studios, and y'all need to talk to your own people too, because there are plenty of Native Black Americans who are doing the hiring, and they're the ones picking the Black British actors. They're picking them. Like what's bro name? How am I blacking on him? What's his name? Who directed Sinners? I can't believe Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler picked those people. And also, that just brought to my mind, isn't Ryan Coogler doing the Mansa Musa movie and having Michael B. Jordan play Mansa Musa? I heard something like that. Isn't that gonna happen? Like, would it make sense for somebody to say, yo, Ryan Coogler, you can't do a movie about Mansa Musa, and definitely Michael B. Jordan can't play him? Like, come on now.
If they're talking about their icons, their famous people, their heroes, they probably wouldn't even cast a Black American. And I don't blame them one bit. But they think it's all right for them to come over here and play our people when they were not the ones who made the sacrifice. They weren't the ones who built the culture. So they don't have a right to really say anything about the culture. We don't care about them coming to Hollywood and writing about, Jane Fonda, play Barbara Streisand for that matter, since, you can play anybody, you're an actor, play some of these white folks, because so many white people checked out from Hollywood a long time ago, so they don't care. Well, we care, and we have a right to care. And Drewski has as much right to make a living for himself doing the work that he likes doing as Idris Elba does. And Drewski is at home doing his work, not over in England or in Sierra Leone or wherever he's from, trying to take roles that he ought to be playing.
For anybody who doesn't know, Drewski recently dropped a skit. And this time, he's going after actors from the UK. I know I'm not the only one who noticed that a lot of the actors that tend to play Black American roles don't really be from Black America. I remember the first time I ever really noticed Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, man. So this is who you using. Again, I think there's some clout chasing going on because again, he's like mixing and matching stuff. But let me hear the brother out.
And he was in that movie Get Out by Jordan Peele. I remember he did such a great job in that movie that I decided to watch an interview with him after that. And then when I seen him talk, I was like, oh wow. He did such a great job with the role that I never would have knew, which definitely adds fuel to the argument of if somebody plays a character well enough, does it really matter that they don't share the same cultural background as that character? So the only thing that matters is how well the performance actually portrays the nuances of what makes that character. This topic definitely does tap into a lot of gray areas, even outside of the Black community.
Now, we're not saying they're not good actors. They are good actors, but our actors are good too. Samuel L. Jackson is a good actor. Denzel Washington is a good actor. Michael B. Jordan is a good actor. We have good actors too. So it's not a matter of whether or not they're good actors. It's a matter of what they're playing and where they are playing. There are good actors in Denmark who are very good actors, but they don't come to the United States. They stay at home and play characters from their culture.
That's a lie. Most of the white actors you see coming up now are all from the UK. Even the Asian actors are not even from America. Like most of all the actors you see are all not from America. They from Canada, they from Australia, they from New Zealand, they from Europe. Particularly the UK. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's how we're not saying they're not good actors. Nobody ever said that Idris Elba or Daniel Kaluuya or any of them weren't good actors. That's not the issue. They are good actors, but our actors are good too. And here's another point. There are over 1 billion Africans on the continent and only about 40-something million of us here. There should be more than enough stories, industries, and opportunities there without needing to constantly step into our lane and then shame us for noticing. If you have a whole continent to build with, why is your energy focused on the one group that's already under-resourced and overexploited? They think they have a right to our culture, but we don't have a right to theirs. How about the president of Ghana accepting the Pope's apology for slavery? He didn't go through slavery. He didn't go through slavery.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. See, I knew I wasn't right, Fahima. I was right? Denzel Washington put the money up for Chadwick Boseman to go to the UK to learn how to act. Like, this is crazy. All this nonsense about, like now you crying about Ghana? So slavery didn't affect Ghana?
He didn't come across the Middle Passage. He didn't work on the plantation. Those people, those African people, I'm telling you, I don't understand any of them. I heard a Somali woman saying, well, we're running away from our country because we were colonized. And she was talking to a Black American content creator. And he said, well, we were colonized too. We weren't colonized, we were slaves. But she pointed that out. She thinks that she has a reason for being out of her country over here scamming and cheating and beating, but we were slaves. And
so what? So what? Like, why are you questioning people for leaving a country? Why did you leave this out? There's plenty of towns that was created by the enslaved after they got out of slavery. Why don't you go live there? On top of that, what does it matter if somebody is scamming? Because again, that lady wasn't scamming, but you're talking about, well, some Somalis were scamming according to Donald Trump. Okay, what does that mean?
So that puts her over us somehow. They are the most delusional people on the face of this earth. Now back to Drewski. Drewski's skit hit a nerve, and the Black immigrants have been
Diasporian. Nobody who's FBA would do good in the debate. Nobody.
been talking about it all over TikTok, all over Twitter, wherever they congregate. They've been talking about it. And they've been criticizing Drewski and us for talking about them, because you're not supposed to talk about them, evidently. But Drewski's skit hit a nerve because it was accurate. The accent switch was even accurate. The prestige that they try to affect when they come here and do these roles. Drewski had it down. He had it down, and the disconnect that they have from Black American history while still trying to cash in on it. So that's what's hitting a nerve, because I really think that they thought that they were smarter than we are. They are not smarter than we are. They are not smarter than we are. We are survivors. They are runners, and we are not. They make excuses, and we don't. And by the way, those
more xenophobia, yeah, from Bozo Boule.
Oh, those Somalis in Minnesota did steal all that money. A white woman is in jail. If I'm not mistaken, a white woman is in jail for stealing all that money, even the $250 million from the SNAP program.
So a white woman is in jail. You trying to prove the Somalis stole all that money by talking about how a white woman isn't in jail for stealing like $250 million in SNAP money?
But see, the Somalis are so gullible, and they thought that they were hooked in with the white people so much that that white woman used them to get that money. And they're used.
So if that's the case, does that mean the Somalis really did scam? They really didn't scam. It was the white woman and they just got taken advantage of. So maybe that's why that white woman is in jail, but we don't have a gazillion Somalis in jail. Maybe that's the reason. You ever thought of that? That she was the mastermind, and they were just as much victims as anybody else in this.
Them again, all that billions of dollars. See, I've always known from the start that the Somalis weren't smart enough to steal $2 billion. They're not writing checks in Minneapolis, and they're not.
Now the Somalis, you just blame the Somalis for stealing the money. Now you saying that they're not smart enough to steal the money. It was a white woman, but you still sitting around here blaming the Somalis. This is ridiculous. We got to get off this. We got to. My brain about to explode. It's about to explode.
Not writing checks in Washington. So there's no way that they could have stole that much money without having the power of the pen to sign those checks. So they were duped. They were duped by the white people, and they will be duped again until they learn how to play the game.
So if they're being duped, how is it Somali's fault if they're being duped? According to you, they're being duped. It's white people taking advantage of them. So are they really scammers? Are they really stealing money? If that's the case, if the white people are taking advantage of them and they stealing money and they got the money and they're the ones who ended up in jail, are the Somalis really scammers? If according to your logic, according to what you just said, should we consider the Somalis the scammers?
Not going to listen to us. But in the meantime, while they're learning, we are going to gatekeep our culture. I commend Drewski.
That's enough. We done. Speaking of the UK, something terrible just happened in Ireland. We got to watch this, family. This is terrible. Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank you for the fire emojis. Yes, let's get into this. Let me thumbs this up. Let's go.
Protesters are calling this Ireland's George Floyd moment. Social media videos show security guards restraining a black man on the streets of Dublin. Police say the man, who died, was detained after attempting to flee during an alleged shoplifting incident that left an elderly bystander injured. The police say the detained man, quote, subsequently became unresponsive at the scene and was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The Congolese-born man, named Yves Sekila, was in his 30s. Arnott's, the department store outside of which the incident took place, said in a statement it uses an independently contracted security firm. CNN has not been able to identify the company or its employees to obtain comment.
When you look at that video, it literally is like a reenactment of what happened to George Floyd.
We call this a George Floyd moment because it happened the same situation, same incident. I can't believe it happened in America in 2020 and then happened in Ireland in 2026.
Irish police say they're investigating the circumstances surrounding his death and have appealed for witnesses. They said they are not releasing the results of the autopsy for, quote, operational reasons. The investigation has also been referred to the Irish Police Ombudsman. A referral doesn't necessarily mean a police officer has been accused of wrongdoing. Arnott said in its statement that it was deeply saddened by the death and that no loss of life should ever be the outcome of a retail security incident. It says it's fully cooperating with the police investigation.
You don't see this in Ireland. For children. You see this in sorts of America and things like that. It's the first thing I've ever seen.
Ireland's Prime Minister has called for a thorough investigation into the incident, according to Reuters. The Irish Justice Ministry told CNN it could not comment on the matter as it was an ongoing investigation.
Yes. Rest in peace to the brother from the Congo who passed away. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even stealing anything. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out he didn't even steal anything. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't even steal anything. Let's see if we can find some more videos. Matter of fact, I found another one. I fast forwarded a little bit because I don't want to watch the brother losing his life. I can't have that on my conscience. Not on my conscience because I didn't do anything, but I can't have that on my mind.
It made me feel bad. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't believe it. It's just like a nightmare. And I was trying to think, why? Why? It's excessive force. Why?
Horrific, absolutely brutal. That shouldn't have occurred on Henry Street, one of the most historical streets in Dublin. And Arnott's, one of the biggest stores in Dublin, one of the most popular stores, and they happened right outside their doors, which is absolutely disgusting in this day and age.
It is awful, and I think we're really racist. I think it's horrible, and I hope justice is done for his family.
With the responsibility, take the anger.
It is important that we acknowledge that it was wrong and that it doesn't happen again. It should be the last life, the last migrant life that should be lost in this country.
This is not just a case of just a black person. It could happen to any person, and life is a fundamental human right. And when it's
I don't think that they wouldn't have did that to no other person. They did him like that because he was black. I don't even know if he even stole anything. But even if he did, that's no excuse. No excuse.
Taken the way it was taken, we should speak out. We should come out as a group.
We call this a George Floyd moment because it happened the same situation, same incident. Like, I can't believe it happened in America in 2020 and then happened in Ireland in 2026. That's really about the image of the Irish people and the country as well. And we are standing against that.
Yes, this is terrible. I'm going to see if I can find something else about this. Because I just found out about this. And this is like, oh my God. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see. Is this something different? Hopefully this is something different.
We call this a George Floyd moment because it happened the same.
People have made the comparison because when you look at that video, it literally is like a reenactment of what happened to George Floyd. The only difference here is that it wasn't one or two police officers. It was about 6 or 7 security agents who did that, held him down.
Look, they didn't even say he stole anything. They say he was suspected of stealing something. All that for somebody suspected of stealing something? Ridiculous. You already know, Visionary. Free the Congo. Free the Congo. Shout out to you also, Red, Black, and Green, BYB. Yes, like this is disgusting. Yes, people are feel emboldened to do stuff like this. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. I can't even watch no more of this. I'm trying to find some more updates on it, but I'm like, I don't want to keep watching the same video and watching the brother, pass away. Excuse me, pass away like that. Like, come on. I don't want to see that. But I guess it just happened, so we got to wait for some updates. But like, yeah, that was a tragic story. May the mercy of God be with his family and that community, and may they keep fighting to seek justice. Like, yeah, then it got to be some justice behind that. There has to be some justice behind that. Shout out to everybody in the building. You say you can't see the chat on your side? Maybe because you in one of the other live streams, because I'm multi-streaming from different sites right now. So you might be in a different live stream. That's why you can't see anything. You might have to come over to the other live stream. But shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see. Wait. What time is it? Matter of fact, I know what I'm going to do. I want to cover this because this is something else I meant to cover that I didn't get a chance to get around to covering. Shout out to Afro Think Tank, friend of the channel. He talking about O'Shea Duke Jackson. So we want to know the truth about O'Shea Duke Jackson. So yeah, let's get into this.
Shallow, like it's not a lot of depth.
I want to see what he got to say about O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to everybody in the building.
What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. Y'all know I can be very unbiased, right? When it's time to cut the joking, because I joke a lot in my videos. I joke a lot. I'm serious a lot. I display a lot of emotion. And that's part of my art style and my entertainment style, to emphasize what I'm talking about, utilizing my emotions, right? Or my passion or whatnot, right? To, drive the point. That's the entertainment. If you notice, I'm I give you one singular consistent thought. Like I'm freestyling this. This is off the top of my head, no notes. I don't have scripts. I'm literally just saying it, right? If you notice, I ain't got a lot of cut clips. I'm not like sitting here talking, messing up, and just saying I'm gonna edit it later. Now, this is straight through. Yeah, I know that's how I do it, right? And when it's time to get real serious, right? Just to put some context around just anything, because this is Afro Think Tank. The reason why it's called Afro Think Tank is because we are a thinking tank. We're a think tank, right? That means sometimes we have to be unbiased, right? That's why, I tackle tough topics, right, and controversial topics, and and I seem to, based off what you guys say, handle myself pretty well. But this one, I want to tackle something real quick because, in Black YouTube, we have those who, it's small, right? So most of us know, we all pretty watching the same group, right? And so I was thinking about, because I'm starting to get a lot of videos in my for me or recommended with O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? And people are starting to criticize O'Shea. I think it probably started once he did the ABBA, right? And y'all know every now and then I'll tackle something with O'Shea when I disagree with it. We just have fundamental differences, but I'll tackle it. I'm not afraid to tackle any topic anywhere. And y'all know I just keep it real. Even if I like you or I don't like you, if y'all notice, I keep the same energy anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it even across the board. You can be white, black, Asian, whatever. I keep it right across the board, right? And just like I can be critical, I can also be complimentary, right? And I like things to be in context. And so I'm listening to a lot of people criticize O'Shea, which is, it's fair, right? O'Shea has a very strong personality, and he has multiple shows. He's been here for a while, right? And I just want to clear some things up to you guys about O'Shea that you may not know, because you may not care to know. Okay. And this is for those who think that, because of the nature of his content, he is unworthy of his opinion or not to be taken seriously, right? Or that he's somewhat 100% a bad guy or whatnot, right? You know how we label people, right? You know, evil, bad, good, whatnot. But let me tell you something about.
Nah, I think you got to try to redeem O'Shea Duke Jackson. There's no. We're gonna see. We're gonna let you get to it. I'm letting you build, but I hope you didn't say all that to say that, you know, O'Shea is really not a bad guy.
O'Shea that you guys don't realize. O'Shea Duke Jackson, because I hear a lot of people say, "Get out of Uganda." Why you in Uganda? Like, you know, because you gotta attack him or something, right? You know, O'Shea is a plus positive for Uganda. He's a plus dude. That's what I'm trying to. Despite what the dude says out his mouth, that if you're my subscriber, you don't quite agree with it, all right? But he does say some stuff that makes sense. Sometimes he make 1,000 videos on, like he can be redundant, very redundant. Sometimes his videos can be kind of shallow, like it's not a lot of depth in some of them, not all of them, but you know, because he cranks out so much volume. There's no way he can be deep with everything, right? But outside of YouTube, this dude is changing lives. Like, I know he's like, I don't like you, motherfucker. Like, he has one of those personalities that, you know, most people wouldn't get along with, be honest, right? It takes a special type of person to be close to O'Shea, right? Because I have friends that's like, personality types. He has a certain personality type. But dude, outside of this YouTube, outside of all the bullshit come out his mouth, right? Outside of the dramas and all that shit, what O'Shea does with his money, right? And on the ground in real life is transforming for many people.
Nah, I can't give O'Shea a pass because Tariq can say the same thing. A lot of people could say the same thing. Charleston White can say the same thing. Kanye can say the same thing. You can say the same thing about a lot of people. About, well, yeah, they do a bunch of messed up stuff on the internet and they promote a bunch of poison to the youth, but outside in real life, they do use some of that money that they get to change other people's lives. Now, we're not going for Nino Brown with the turkeys. Not going for that. But yeah, you keep going.
And that's why, if you notice, sometimes he get online, he be upset, right? Because somebody done fucked him over. Or sometimes you see you talking about scams and shit like that. It's because despite how mean he may seem, whatever, even though he's jokey, the dude's doing a lot for a lot of people. And the reason why I know it is because I'm doing a lot for a lot of people. Like, I'm changing a lot. And I ain't even rich. But y'all got to understand the what can be done with intention when going to Africa. Like me, my experiences, I think I've been in going to Nigeria since 2017, right? And the things I've been able to do that I'm thinking that it's something normal that any nice, African American would do, any nice person would do. It's transforming to people in ways you would never understand, right? And with the little bit of money I do have, my discretionary spending money, I'm able to do some crazy stuff. Like, I'm putting people through. I got one I'm putting people through college. I got 2 boys in college right now that I'm sponsoring through. Their parents work for me. I can pay their college. I got another girl who's about to go get her master's. I paid for her to get her bachelor's degree. She just graduated this year. She's going back to get her master's after she's finished doing her 1 year of mandatory civil service. I'm paying for multiple children's school fees and books and clothes. I done saved people's lives with just a little bit. Like I keep trying to tell you.
But Afro Think Tank, you don't be putting poison in the community too. See, like that's the difference. Like I keep saying, I'm saying for myself. Yes, you helping people in real life, but you also helping people with your content. O'Shea is poisoning the well and on the internet with his content. So yeah, he may be helping people in real life, but he's poisoning people on the internet. He's having a way more negative effect because for every one person he's helping in real life, he's poisoning the minds of like 1,000 people. And that math ain't mathing to me. It's not mathing. It is not mathing to me. Shout out to Lord of Slaughter in the building. That math don't math to me. You can't destroy 1,000 minds and say, well, I helped one person get a bag. That's not it. Especially when we know O'Shea is not just helping people get a bag. Those people are working for him to help him get a bigger bag. This is not, he not doing no charity work.
Things you could do with money, because I view money as a tool. It's not something I worship or praise. If I can do something with the tool of money, I'll do it, right? And over the years, I've been able to do some amazing things. And even us, think about what we was able to do with $6,000 we put together, right? We built a solar power water borehole system, providing water for kids in Nigeria that's being used right now. That people are drinking fresh filtered water right now because of us. We did that with a little bit of money, right? And I've talked to O'Shea. You know, he was one of the first persons to interview me and talk to me on WhatsApp. He gave me a lot of advice, and told me, a lot of good things, because O'Shea is good at marketing. He knows how to he knows the business of YouTube, right? And he gave me some advice on the business of YouTube, right? And I've utilized that, while criticizing him sometimes, right? But I've utilized that, and I appreciate that, right? Listen, I know people that he's putting on. No, you don't understand. When I say save lives, I'm talking about actual lives would be gone if not there type shit. Like, y'all just don't understand what's happening over there and what we could do over there, right? So that's why. But also, he understands. Like, I understand the scamming because of what's happened. You got to understand the psychological damage that has happened to our people over there. They coming out of some shit, right? And while they're coming out of some shit, everybody's in survival mode, and you got some criminals, bro. And they will scare, and it's just so much you can get real frustrated about it. So I understand the pistivity. I understand it because I experienced it myself. We just handle it two different ways, but I understand it. But let me tell you something, man. O'Shea is doing more like for black people than both Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed. Them dudes ain't never done nothing for black people. What have Tariq Nasheed done for black people? Besides,
all right, I could give you that, but again, he made it. But that's not a high bar. That's not a high bar, especially because he in Africa too. And O'Shea is a millionaire, so that he's a millionaire in American money. So that go way further. Way further. O'Shea is making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month off YouTube. He's like, again, him giving somebody $1,000 here, $2,000 here, there to do stuff for him that help him get a bigger bag. That don't justify all the other stuff he's doing. Because again, O'Shea don't got to do this. O'Shea don't got to push FBA. There's no utility in it. You in Africa, he could be causing real problems for himself pushing this FBA stuff. FBA don't help nobody. Not only that, again, he's in Africa. He could be making other content that's pro-Africa and actually building real bridges while getting paid to do so. And covering his celebrity topics. He could leave the xenophobia alone. He's choosing to push the xenophobia. That's why it's a problem. It's a problem. Like that whatever money he giving to those people, that don't cover what he doing. If O'Shea really want to help, he'll quit the xenophobia and he'll just really just keep helping the people. If he really want to help. Like, yeah.
Let's make a pseudo-historical book that people who don't know anything about their history will get a few truths and a whole bunch of lies and some half-truths and some pseudos. What has Tariq Nasheed done for the black community except for dropping some trash albums, right? More redundant videos and gathered money to make his little donut shop called the Hidden History Museum, where nothing in there is hidden because it's all Amazon stuff. Where he got some unfunny comedians that perform and you have little potlucks and shit that he rent out to everybody else who's not black to make a buck. But has he actually, through a rally where he can sell shit? What has he actually? I'm talking about when you talk about tangible things for these people who consider themselves leaders. What have either one of them actually done? The school ain't done yet, so we can't say Umar's done anything. We've never seen Umar Johnson in any people come out and say Umar Johnson changed my life. We never seen any of these boys that he's been supposedly been talking to, counseling and saving. We never hear any testimonials. It all comes out his mouth, right? You would think by now, if he has all these credentials, there'll be plenty of people that say, hey, yeah, he was my counselor, he was my teacher, he was my therapist, he changed my life, he saved my life, he saved my marriage. You ain't never heard that? He don't even take care of his kids. Look what he's done to us, and he admit it. And then, for a person in his profession, he didn't know how to use that profession for his own personal life. So if he can't do that with his own children, how can we, expect him to do that for our children, right? So, but the thing is, these people are entertainers, right? They're for sure. Like Umar Johnson is a rolling preacher. Tariq Nasheed is a rolling preacher. They're from the old days, back when we used to sell CDs back in the parking lot, back when people used to rent halls and hotels for $400, sell $35 tickets. Everybody used to pack in back in the Sun 80 days. These are the old heads back in these are the analog hustles, right? Tariq and Umar, right?
You're right about that. You're right about that. But again, that's no excuse for O'Shea Duke Jackson. No excuse.
So they got some lasting fame that they've been riding on, but in the age of information, it's just it's not standing up, right? But then you got somebody like O'Shea, who's literally makes celebrity junk. It's the material itself is what it is. It's junk. It's meant to just purely entertain, mindless entertainment, right? Drama stuff we like to watch.
Yes, Fahima. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like O'Shea doing dibbling and dabbling and doing this stuff that he's doing doesn't even make any sense because it could easily backfire on him, just like it did Professor James Smalls. Like it ain't worth it. How much money did Professor James Smalls get dibbling and dabbling in the FBA stuff? Nothing. How much money he lost? Same thing with O'Shea. If O'Shea got kicked out of Uganda today and had to come back to America, you know how more expensive America is than Uganda? You know how much harder it'd be for him to get a bag? And he got to spend so much more money. So it's like, yeah. And he can't help those people because Afro Think Tank is talking about all the people he helping in Ghana. How he gonna help those? In Uganda. How he gonna help those people if he get kicked out of Uganda for being a xenophobe? It ain't worth it. Like the math ain't mathing. He not getting no extra views or more views pushing FBA. He getting less views doing the FBA stuff. He putting himself in danger. And then if he get deported, that's going to leave those people who relied on him high and dry with nothing. And who's to say they won't face backlash or be stigmatized, saying, oh, you work with the xenophobe who hate our people, who talk bad about our people. And now nobody want to give them a job. And now they even in an even worse position. Exactly. I'm not giving nobody who's running around pushing FBA no pass. If he want to, like I'm gonna say, just like I said about Adonis, if you want to stop doing the FBA stuff, that's cool. But as long as you doing it, you are op. I don't care about nothing else you doing.
Watch, right? Even though it's not highbrow content, it's stuff we like to watch. But in real life, the things he's doing with all that money he's making, he's changing lives. So because think about it, a lot of people have been hating him. I mean, yeah, he did start out with the whole manosphere thing. Yeah, he did. Right? He got his own issues, right? We know what it is. We know that. But that same thing, what he's done with all that money, talking shit about black women, all that shit he's done with that money, talking shit about, anybody, celebrities. The dude been literally helping black women in real life, changing black women's lives. I know black women's lives. He's changed, saved their lives. He's been
but he hurt more black women. Because I remember before I was looking in the O'Shea comment section, he had like a 15-year-old boy saying, oh, I thank you for your videos, O'Shea. I'll never date a black woman a day in my life. 15 years old, poisoning the youth. That's the real reason why I don't bang with O'Shea at all, period. Even without the FBA stuff. He and the other manosphere bozos have literally poisoned a whole generation of black boys' minds. They didn't even have a chance. They minds is just cooked. It's cooked. They hate black women, even though black women never did nothing to them. They put white women and other women on a pedestal, even though these women wouldn't piss on them if they was on fire. And they got their minds cooked like that, following behind O'Shea. So yeah, him paying some black woman's rent or donating some money to a black woman here and there don't make up for all the damage he has done in real life. Him and his ilk has done some real damage out here. Like, yes, I'm not giving nobody no pass for being anti-black woman. May as well give Tommy a pass. That's what I'm saying. Like, so if we find out that Tommy was putting money in some black people's pockets, he supposed to get a pass? We may as well give Charleston White a pass.
Changing these black men, but he's like, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, he literally, O'Shea, if he wanted to, he don't need to pander to anybody. He can on his own. He can stand on his own. And if he decided to talk about any of this shit, that motherfucker would be like the #1 Pan-African, but it don't matter because black. You voted for Trump. It don't make no sense. FBA, like all that is what he says online. It contradicts to the shit he's doing in real life. That's what doesn't compute with me. But I mean, he is what he is. He's doing it for whatever reason he's doing it for. But in the real world, where it actually counts, because none of this shit counts. Like this shit right here. What you do outside of this shit right here, what counts. And where it counts, O'Shea's doing the work. I gotta give the man's flowers on that. And that is the truth. Whether you like him or not, you don't have to like him. You can love the fact that he is a plus positive to where he is right now. No matter how he got there, no matter what led him there, because we all end up somewhere somehow, right? So, and then when we get there, what do? Right? So I know for a fact that whether O'Shea stays in Uganda, comes back to America or whatever, when O'Shea is done doing what O'Shea is doing, there are people that's going to remember him for the shit that he's done in their lives, despite the shit that he says online. And the people he's doing this shit for probably don't even watch his ass online. And that's probably the truth. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That's a little bit of context for those who sometimes who are thinking about this O'Shea character, because he ain't gonna tell you that shit because that's not his character, right? But I'll tell you because I've talked to the dude, and I'm very good at my observation of people. If y'all haven't noticed, I'm pretty damn good at a read, right? So yeah, that just if y'all want to know whether you wanted to, you probably didn't give a fuck. Like I want to hate that motherfucker, but just know that that dude is doing some real shit for real. Like that's why I made that video some time ago, and I said, "Who's more Pan-African, him or Tariq?" Because in actuality, this dude is doing shit. The way he's getting his money, it's not always good money, but the dude's doing good with it. So just want to throw that out there. And how many content creators can look at another creator and say something positive about them? Because it's so easy to say something negative. It's real easy. But I guess that's manly. It's tough, to attack if that's the only mode of communication. But imagine looking at somebody you've criticized and saying something good about them to your audience and seeing how to receive that. How tough would that be? Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank.
Nah, Afro Think Tank, I cannot co-sign this. I cannot co-sign your message in this video. I cannot co-sign it at all. Cannot co-sign it at all. And oh yeah, it's about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to everybody in the building. Support. Thanks to everybody for coming through. We got over 100 in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my second channel, because it's like they playing with me in the algorithm now. Because now, like for some reason, they putting ads in the live stream, but I'm not seeing none of that money. So yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the second channel, because they also taking like my pre-records out the remember, they not starting until they been did this, because like I told you, I'm out the algorithm. That's why I need y'all to hit that like button, share. That's the only way to get me back in the algorithm until this strike come off my channel, or warning, strike, warning, whatever they got me on there. But anyway, yeah, I'm in this video tonight. Like I was not feeling this video. I was not feeling this video at all. Not happy I had to leave on this note, but yeah, I wasn't feeling this video at all. We don't got no shout outs tonight because nobody donated, but that's fine. People participated. They gave emojis. They liked the video. They shared it. So that's good enough. That's good enough. Like I said, whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns. And on top of that, any support is good support. So I'm gonna end this video right here. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my second channel. Come on, it's in the pin comment at the top. Just hit that link. And on that note, family, peace. Oh, is Carlette in the building? I don't think Carlette's in the building. So yeah. So I'll probably see y'all tomorrow because I didn't get my kids this weekend. So probably see y'all tomorrow. All right, peace.